with you all go with you always to talk. Listen, bro. Wait.
60 bands on my neck. I gotta know. How many shots to the center of a freak, nigga? 3 in his ass, lick his stomach, smell his pink, nigga. They throwing shots, time to see if them pussy niggas can take it. The nigga whack is a snitch and the jolly niggas are rapists. See, Lush was on to something, tried to act like it was nothing. Since you ain't know that freaky ass taker, you was frontin'. Munchie ain't fucking with you, and Spider-Loc ain't gon' save you. If you want it, you gon' take it. Stop them freaky ass behaviors. Let's get straight to the point, see, we ain't gotta wait for later. Nigga with your last name kidnapped that girl before he raped her. Said the moms of gang members don't deserve no piece of prayers. When General butt naked, the kid Tesher is your savior. You ain't gotta stall me out, cause I ain't asking for no favors. Get it cracking right now, we ain't gotta wait for later. Walked into your own building, heard my voice, and then you ducked away. Was humble like a bitch, cause you a hoe, stay in your fucking place. That nigga whack is slut and pathetic, FLAKKO's a fucking lame. Whack ain't come outside because he hiding from his fucking gang. Talking like you tough when niggas spitting in your fucking face. T-Ro didn't quit, we wouldn't even know your fucking name. Whack in front of Adam, but Adam is how he do you. See, FLAKKO lied on me and then Whack told me to sue you. Treated Whack like a bitch, you should've seen it, it was beautiful. Now every single week that nigga jolly on my pupil. Is it Fred or is it Frederick? Is it Dave or is it David? All thighs on me, FLAKKO belly, now you famous. Type of creep nigga is you. How are you and Dave related? Nigga, no means no, you should've told him not to take it. I'm really in the field, you niggas stuck inside the matrix. From BET to the Knicks, down in Compton where your face is. That nigga real jolly got some freaky ass cases. Tryna fake fight Lush cause Adam wanted you to face. You wanna be like academics, making videos like point and shoot. You and Dave the same ass lane, we know the fucking truth. Bricc ain't say this shit is a play, cause he don't fuck with you. He not gon' get involved when them real shooters come for you. If you grew up in the land, them thirsties, they would've humbled you. Grew up with them lions, I promise they would've hunted you. I get disrespectful, the next time I'ma punish you. You dirty fat bitch, I swear to God I see the bum in you. Niggas say they shooters till it's time to bring them guns out. Loose can't read and Whack lost his wife to Clubhouse. Treat Whack like a bitch, mark him out before he snitch again. FLAKKO, when I see you, I'ma show you the type of bitch you is. Niggas say they see me, they pullin' blick out. I promise that this Glock can make you sit down. Drum with a cooler, one for you, one for your brother. Wrap the string around the mop, sound like your dumb ass when you stutter. Swear to God, nigga.
Yeah, bro, no, listen, bro. I just said, wait. Hear me out though, right? Pause. Wait, bro, wait. Again, wait though. Just right, though, right? Wait though, right? I do want to. Wait though.
Yo, y'all, we're sharp tapping in TNN Trap News Network. We back in the same, like, cook, cracking the same. Man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe for more of this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. It's that good news you can use. It's that good knowledge. You can't get in nobody's college. Big dog. Tap in with the tap in when you tapping in with the tap in, and make sure you tapped in with this good tap in. You feel me? Like, comment, subscribe for all this good content we got going on. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for all this good content we got going on here at TNN Trap News Network. News you can use. Knowledge you can't get in nobody's college. Big dog. Merch shop open now. Rich Trap House. Make sure y'all get into that if you ain't got into that. Broke Baby Mama out now on all streaming platforms. Get into that if you ain't got into that. Words are hard. The pathetic FLAKKO Rat 100 is out now. Get into that if you ain't got into that. And TRAP, NEWS, NETWORX, Trap News Network. Find me on all streaming platforms. Make sure you'll get into that. But that's the Instagram, TRAP, NEWS, NETWORX. Get into that if you ain't got into that. We finna jump into this content, man. We still giving y'all the Bricc baby story. So without holding y'all no longer, man, we finna jump into it. Let's get into it. Let's go. Shout out to Swamp Stories.
And when he goes to dap him up,
shout out to my man Krails.
Shake his hand and calls him a rat. This is a major violation in the LA street code. You do not call someone a rat without paperwork, and especially not in front of their girl. So Eric, being one of the only, calls him a rat. This is a major violation in the LA street code. You do not call someone a rat without paperwork, and especially not in front of...
Why, when they put his girl, why they put Tania up there? What does Tania have to do with anything?
Their girl. So Eric, being one of the only actual steppers from the Rolling 60s, he feels completely played and wants to do something to Nipsey. So long story short, he goes to his car, grabs his blick, and walks back to the block. Then in front of an entire crowd of Rolling 60s members, he walks right up to Nipsey and lets him have it. After emptying his clip, he simply walks away as Nipsey's friends are frozen in shock. And because of how quickly and emotionally this happened, Bricc realizes that if he was there, he could have calmed down Eric and made everything okay.
When I get wind that it's cuz, I'm like, oh, cuz. I'm like, man, I'm just like, man, how one of my close friends killed my other close friend while I was in jail. So you always think like, damn, if I was on the streets, could I have stopped it? I probably could have took him to go smoke and slide. And we could have went somewhere that shit would never happen.
How Eric Holder was able to do this in front of all those people is beyond me, but it is California at the end of the day. And on top of this, instead of going by their own code and holding court in the streets, they decided to testify against him in court.
Here's the thing too. So that's misinformation. I'm not sure what Swamp Story's got against the 6-0s or against Bricc Baby, but that's misinformation. They did not go and tell on him. Eric Holder went to a mental facility and then turned himself in. He was not able to be held accountable in the streets because he went and locked himself up. He went and turned himself in. He admitted himself to a mental facility, and from there, he went to the county jail. He was never in the streets where court could be held against him. Cowboy had been adamant at saying if he wouldn't have never turned himself in, he could have been dealt with in the streets, and that could have been that. That would have been a situation. And at that point, Eric Holder for sure would have lost his life. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. We don't got to sugarcoat it. We don't got to act like it ain't a 1-2 step like Sierra. Eric Holder would have for sure lost his life. He turned himself in, and he didn't deal with the consequences of the streets. He chose the coward's way out in so many different ways and so many different attributes and so many different aspects. So don't go into this whole, oh, well, California niggas ain't this, California niggas ain't that. That's misinformation, Swamp Stories. You ain't telling that story correctly, bro.
I've now learned doing this for a few years is that all of these LA street codes that they all say they abide by are pretty much never enforced, or at least they pick and choose who they want to enforce them on, and on top of this, they're always contradicting themselves. But either way, we move on to another rapper loss that involves the Rolling 60s, and that takes us right back to Atlanta, Georgia. As we all know, in the summer of 2020, Chicago rapper King Von would start an internet beef with Baton Rouge's NBA YoungBoy. I guess it started over a girl, but for the sake of the video, the details don't really matter.
She's pretty.
Well, because of YoungBoy's close friendship with Rolling 60s rapper Quando Rondo, he was implicated in the beef as well. So for months, Vaughn would instigate the beef and they would go back and forth online. Then eventually, Vaughn would take the internet beef to the streets. On the night of November 6, 2020, Quando Rondo and his friend Lil Tim would be at a lounge in Atlanta. Vaughn, who now happened to be living in Atlanta as well, would get word of this and he would pull up to the lounge. So while Lil Tim is sitting in the Escalade and Quando Rondo is standing outside, King Von would pull up on him and start whooping his ass. As soon as Tim sees what's going on and Quando's on the ground surrounded by the Chicago goons, he lets off.
But here goes the thing too, though. If I'm with my homies and one of them got Blick on them and they can get away with having Blick on them, even if they can't get away with having Blick on them, and I'm getting my feet whooped, you better believe it. You better believe it. You better believe it. My money don't fold. It's going to get UGLY and I'm going to have an alibi. It's ugly. Yeah, it's ugly. I hate to say it, but if the shoe would have been on the other foot and they would have unalived Quando Rondo, King Von would be looked at like a legend. He would be, oh, King Von was just a more popular of the two in that situation. God bless the dead and all parties involved. But, you know, do what you got to do.
Atlanta police say 2 people are dead after an officer-involved shooting here on Trinity Avenue in downtown. As dawn turned to daylight, you could make out dozens of evidence markers. GBI crime scene investigators combing the scene.
It hurt us. It hurt us a lot. I cried. Some of my friends cried. He had a big influence on us. A really big influence.
Obviously, this was a monumental moment in rap history as one artist lost his life to another. And unfortunately, everyone in the industry and the streets started picking sides. You're either on Von and Lil Durk's side, or you're on Quando and YoungBoy's side. There's no in between. Well, despite the fact that Von initiated all of this, and Quando's side arguably did nothing wrong, everyone was choosing Durk's side. This was so big that even Spotify and Apple Music are accused of taking Durk's side and blackballing Quando and YoungBoy.
He literally told me, he said, Apple blackballing Quando. He said, I talked to the people at Spotify, because Quando was signed to me. He said, they say they can't put him on so-and-so. It was either Apple or Spotify that said, we can't put him on so-and-so because the other guy don't with him and he ain't gonna f with us. So basically, he was saying that Dirk either told Spotify or Apple that, yo, if y'all with that guy, I ain't gonna f with y'all. So basically, they were picking sides, right?
All the guys who always talk about the street code, the street code, the street code. Well, I guess it doesn't apply to this situation. King Von and his crew initiated the beef, and Lil Tim stood up for his friend. What goes against the street code at all? But like I said, with the streets picking and choosing what's okay, because Von and Dirk were the popular artists, everyone went against Quando and Tim.
The game ain't acting like they're picking favorites, not standing on how the streets normally supposed to treat that. You're supposed to treat that as, it is what it is.
Now, of course, this is all the industry, so let's go back to the real streets. And when I say real streets, I'm talking about Bricc Baby. All of this went down while Bricc Baby was in prison about a year before his release. Regardless though, upon his release, a lot of people were curious where his loyalties would lie. Are you loyal to your buddy Dirk or to the Rolling 60s, specifically the set that you brought to Georgia? Now, according to the LA Street Code...
Hey, now that is irony. Where does your loyalty lie? To the set that made you or to the set that you made? Barnacles. Barnacles.
You're never supposed to go against your own gang, because at that point, what's the point of even being in it? When you're constantly talking about on 6-0 and on hood and riding and being loyal for the set, there's no way you can cross your own flag. However, when it comes to your millionaire friend, all of that goes out the window. Right after his prison release, Bricc Baby goes on No Jumper and lets the world know where he stands.
You know what I'm saying? Like Quando, Rondo.
You're not him.
Boy, stop.
Well, that's gotta be weird for you because you with Dirk so much.
It ain't weird for me.
Yeah.
It ain't weird for me at all. You know what I'm saying? You're not from Rolling 60s.
Oh, really?
You're not from LA Rolling 60s. You're not from Rolling 60s.
Oh, really?
But see, here go the thing, to tell somebody, well, you ain't from LA Rolling 60s, you not blah, blah, blah. When you are self-proclaimed the one who brought the 60s to Atlanta, it's kind of a contradicting statement. You can't discredit somebody for not being from LA, but they from the place that you brought it to. That's Barnacles.
From LA Rolling 60s. You're not from Rolling 60s.
Wait. All those years of putting people on in Georgia and spreading the 60s out there?
Hey, me and Swamp Stories have a very similar way of thinking. Y'all think I'm Swamp Stories in real life? Narrative, Rich Trappers really Swamp Stories.
And you don't even respect them as Rolling 60s? That makes no sense. That is the dumbest reason to say that you're not rocking with Quando, because he's not from LA and he's from Georgia. That makes no sense. So to all the Rolling 60s out there that aren't in LA, see this and understand that the guys in LA do not respect you. So just understand that. And that's...
Don't think the guys in LA don't respect you. Swamp Stories has an issue with Bricc Baby, so he's making it a little bit personal. That's one person's opinion. One person doesn't speak for the majority.
Not to mention that the guys out of state are probably more active, because in LA they're just squabbling and catching fades and hanging out in front of their $1 million hoods where nothing happens and they talk about how crazy it is.
That's actually not true, and if you think that that's true, you should probably go to LA and figure it out and you'll learn a hard lesson.
But the point is that Bricc Baby did the unthinkable and went against his own flag for his millionaire friend, going against everything he's ever said he stood for. And that just shows you the true character of Bricc Baby, just grimy and slimy.
You really from the trenches and you showing love? Cause we not gonna get on your ass. You get what I'm saying? Cause you got it like how we got it. Cause you got it like how we got it. Cause you got it like how we got it. It's these pretending ass niggas. You don't have a hood that you taking care of. You're not from the hood. 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 You're not from the hood.
So now that we know where Bricc Baby stands, let's focus back on the beef between Lil Durk and Quando. From all accounts, Quando and the Savannah Rolling 60s never wanted beef with Vaughn and really never wanted this to happen at all. And despite the fact that all Lil Tim did was defend his friend, Lil Durk still wants get back for Vaughn. Well, given that Durk lives in Atlanta and Quando and his boys are only a few hours away, you'd think that he'd send a hit to Savannah. But because Quando and his boys would have home field advantage, and it's the South...
Yeah, you don't want to send no hit to Savannah, big dog. If you ain't from Savannah, you don't want to send no hit to Savannah. They gonna Swiss cheese you up. You gonna send them shooters down there, and they gonna send them shooters right back to you in a box.
Where everyone's packing heat, it's not necessarily an easy hit, but instead, Durk waits patiently for them to go to a particular city, a city where he knows he can get them gone. This, of course, would be the city of Los Angeles, which for 3 reasons would be the perfect place for him to do it. If Quando and his boys are in LA, they have no home field advantage, and In fact, they probably don't know where they are at any time. And secondly, they won't be strapped because the laws in California make it pretty much impossible to do so. And the third reason? None other than Bricc Baby. As we know, Bricc Baby is the king of hawking down rappers as soon as they touch down in the city. And not only can he give you Quando's exact location, but he can also supply you with what you need. You know, the things. Well, from what the FBI states, Lil Durk waits patiently for Quando and his boys to go to LA. And that day would finally come, nearly 2 years after the demise of Vaughn, August 18th, 2022. It's a regular morning like any other when Lil Durk gets a call from an unknown source informing him of Quando's presence in LA. This is the opportunity he's been waiting for, so he seizes it and he quickly calls an OTF member by the name of Vonnie. OTF Vonnie, whose real name is Kevon Grant, is a certified stepper from Detroit who's known for getting things done. So as soon as Durk gets the information on Quando, he calls up Vonnie and has him fly on his private jet to come meet him. So according to investigators from here, Durk and Vonnie have a meeting where they discuss what needs to be done. And because of Vonnie's reputation for...
Now, yeah, I mean, I believe that Swamp Stories is pretty accurate, but you can just tell where his own personal bias comes in, as we all have personal bias.
Allegedly getting people slumped, he's tasked with handling all the logistics. This includes booking flights, hotel rooms, rental cars, and basically handling everything that needs to be done. So as soon as the meeting wraps up, Vonnie immediately gets to planning. First, he gets in contact with 4 reputed OTF steppers, handpicked by him. These would be DeAndre Wilson, also known as Didi, Keith Jones, also known as FLAKKO, David Lindsay, also known as Brown Eyes, and Asa Houston, also known as Boogie. He informs them of the mission at hand and tells them to immediately get ready. Then he makes a massive mistake. Using OTF credit cards, he books them red-eye flights to Los Angeles. Coincidentally, just minutes after doing this, Durk texts him,
Hey, don't book no flights under my name or anything that has to do with me.
Too late, buddy.
That's ugly. And they should have just automatically knew better than to do that, but common sense ain't so common.
Not only did he already use the OTF card to get them flights, but he also got them hotel rooms as well. On top of this, one of the hitters DMs his girl on Instagram and lets her know that he's on his way to Los Angeles. Regardless, this doesn't stop anything, and the 4 OTF hitters head to the airport for the midnight flight. Okay, so now that all the travel is handled, Vonnie hops on a private jet headed to Los Angeles. He touches down in the early morning, and now it's time for him to get everything together. August 19th, 2022, 7 a.m. Vonnie takes an Uber to a luxury car rental and gets a BMW M5 and an Infiniti G37. He then wipes them down individually and takes them to get tinted. While waiting for the cars, he takes an Uber to Big 5 Sporting Goods where he buys 4 ski masks and 4 pairs of gloves. Oh, and not to mention, he again uses the OTF credit card. Well, once he leaves the sport...
Why would you book any of this with a credit card? Like, that's barnacles and crazy. Like, I ain't telling y'all how to commit no crime, but y'all know they got them prepaid Visa debit cards that you can get. You can have a smoker go in any Walmart and go grab it for you, and then you can book everything off the disposable credit card and just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You can have a smoker go into your local Walmart with cash. They can add money to the card, bust a whole 1-2 step like Sierra, blah, 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 give it to you. You can do your whole blah, 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 blah. Everything is tied to the smoker, never to you, but don't worry about it.
Good story.
Sliding is hard. I'm not speaking from experience. I ain't saying that I've done anything like this. I'm just hypothetically speaking. Hypothetically.
There's only 2 things left for him to do. First, he needs some blicks, and secondly, he needs to find out exactly where Quando Rondo is. And here is where 2 new mystery men come into the picture, known to the FBI as Co-Conspirator 2 and Co-Conspirator 4. Well, after the rental cars are ready, Vonnie meets up with Co-Conspirator 2. And when they meet up, number 2 hands him a duffel bag full of... So they go their separate ways, and Vonnie...
You actually don't need a plane. You actually do not need... Free game. You actually do not need an ID to get on a plane. How do you get around a plane? How do you get around an ID? Let's say that I want to book a flight under the name John Smith. All I need is a debit card and a piece of mail with something of the name John Smith, or 3 pieces of mail with the name John Smith. They could be junk mail. It could be anything. It just has to have something of the name John Smith. Have I ever traveled without an ID? Yes, I have. Plenty of times. Plenty of times. If you have a debit card with the name of the person that you have booked that flight under and you have some mail, they will let you on that plane. I'm not telling you what I heard. I ain't telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I did. I'm telling you what I did.
Get your ass on that plane. They will let you on. All you gotta do is have 3 pieces of mail, or have a debit card or anything like that. They'll let your ass on. Because you gotta think, what if you went to New York and you came from LA and you lost your ID? I've done it plenty of times. Now, they're going to send you through an additional screening process for sure, so don't have no wooty bams and woo-wops on you, but they're going to let you through. I promise you, they're going to let you through.
Now meets up with number 4. Together, they go over strategy, and number 4 tells him to follow him. He'll take him exactly to Quando's location. Ooh-wee, it's really about to happen. And now they go to the hotel to pick up...
I lived an interesting life in the past life. Y'all see how I had to take the tape off the thumb? The thumb is landed. It's getting better, though. The swelling went down tremendously. But I lived a life once upon a time. Don't worry about it.
The rest of the hitters. From here, Vonnie and the hitters inside the M5 and Infinity follow number 4 to Quando's location. Aha, there he is. They spot his black Escalade on Melrose Avenue. Then number 4 messages them and tells them that that is in fact Quando's car. Now he vanishes off in the distance and allows the OTF hitters to do what they do. They're now tracking the black Escalade down Melrose, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Well, after a few minutes of following, the black Escalade busts a right on Beverly Boulevard and pulls over to get some gas. Oh yeah, now it's the perfect time. They head up an alley next to the gas station, park their cars, and get out on foot. They then run into the gas station and absolutely light up the Escalade. After emptying over 100 shots, they run back to their cars and vanish off in the distance. Thankfully, Quando Rondo was untouched, but sadly, his best friend wasn't.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath. Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV. Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight. It all started at this...
Now, this is why King Sav, it's real easy to talk tough on the internet and make fun of Quando Rondo for screaming no. Bro watched his homie get murdered in front of him. So I don't think that that's funny. I don't think that's something that should be mocked. I don't think that's something that should be made, made light of, made fun of, or anything like that. I think that's a pretty serious situation. And all I'm going to say is when it comes down to it, I don't think that anybody in this chat could go through that and not be affected and not be mentally harmed and not be emotionally scarred. Because, again, that's watching somebody who you know as your homie literally destroy you. You can hear Quando Rondo's hurt and heartbreak in that scream. You can hear physical pain in that man's voice. I don't think that that's funny at all. And the way he screamed no, I hope I never have to scream no like that for any reason.
Local gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off. 3 people in 1 car shot at this black Cadillac Escalade. It's unclear if those inside shot back.
Can I get some space, please?
It ended at Santa Monica Boulevard. Deputies found it peppered with bullet holes and a shattered window. 1 man inside, a member of Rondo's entourage, had been shot. The 23-year-old was taken to the hospital where he died.
They pulled up. They were pumped.
And God bless the dead, man. God bless King Von. God bless Lil Pop. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, it's a lot of men being taken off this earth extremely early. And it's a lot of men, young men, watching their homies go down. It's not normal to see death in that matter. It's not normal to see murder. You feel me? So, that's that.
Gas, and it looks like they probably finished pumping gas, and the suspects approached from the alley, got out of the car, and started shooting at those victims.
Shortly after doing this, the OTF members wiped down the rental cars, put their plates back on, and returned them back to the owners. Now here is where things get interesting. After heading to the hotel and changing clothes, the 4 hitters head to Calabasas in an Uber to go to a burger restaurant. And there waiting for them is co-conspirator 2, who's there to discuss business and who gets paid what. Then once they come to a fair agreement, co-conspirator 2 takes a private jet to Chicago, and the rest of them head down to San Diego. This is where they wait for a couple of days, and a trustworthy friend of Dirk brings them a whole lot of money. Now this begs an important question. Who does Dirk trust in California to handle a whole lot of his money? And on top of this, who did he trust to find Quando's location and to supply the weapons? Well, I have somebody in mind, and I definitely think he's either co-conspirator 2 or co-conspirator 4. Given everything we know about Bricc Baby's history in the streets, his dislike for Quando Rondo, and his relationship with Dirk, it would only make sense. But not only does it make logical sense, but there's also a whole lot of information out there that will make you think that Bricc Baby had something to do with this. So now let's get into the reasons why Bricc Baby was certainly involved.
Ooh, here we go.
Reason number 1. Directly after losing his friend, Quando Rondo blames the Rolling 60s. Directly after the incident, he goes on social media and posts this on his story. Basically, what he's saying is that he's done with the Rolling 60s. He's putting down his flag because...
What do you say? Hold on. I'm not jumping out, gang, either. Ain't no loyalty in this ish. I'm my own man. I lay down my flag. I'm not NH. Y'all not gonna ride for a ninja for real. It's no sense in me being a part of y'all ish. Y'all F with the opposition. I don't give a F who feel hit F you. And if you can't feel where I'm coming from, you can't feel where I'm coming from on this, you a BAN, because it don't take no rocket science. It don't take no rocket scientist is what you meant. It don't take no rocket science is what he wrote to see what the F going on. Everybody already hate me. Everybody ERR. Everybody already hate me. I ain't tripping on the extra hate. I'm about to focus on my family and the ones who really drop a tear if I do. Who gonna really drop a tear if I do DIE. All right.
of disloyalty. Now ask yourself, why after this incident would he be upset with his own gang? So much so that he's going to put his flag down because of disloyalty. Obviously, he knew...
Strip Talk J, that's a fake Bricc Baby page. That's not a real Bricc Baby page.
Something the world didn't, that the Rolling 60s had something to do with the death of Lil Pab. And as we know from the indictment, somebody from LA gave up his address. So who else could it possibly be? Who else in Los Angeles would know Quando's exact location other than his own gang who he's supposed to tap in with? And on top of this, which Rolling 60 would be connected to Dirk? Obviously Bricc Baby. And that's just the first reason why I believe that Bricc Baby is co-conspirator 4. And trust me, there's a whole lot of other reasons as well, all coming out of his own mouth. And now we're at reason number 2. Bricc Baby hints at it and admits that he was involved. During the period after the incident, nobody was thinking that Lil Durk was involved because it happened in LA and the whole Rolling 60s thing. But that's when Bricc Baby goes on No Jumper and reveals to the world that Lil Pab's death was get back for Vaughn.
Oh yeah, slap for Vaughn, right? Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
Why? Oh yeah, because of... Wait, no. Like,
They
who died?
say you can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FVG Cash? Oh.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
Ooh-wee, this is when people started to put 2 and 2 together. Lil Durk had something to do with the death of Lil Pab. And isn't it interesting that one of Durk's closest friends and Rolling 60s member is the one who revealed it? Well, WACK 100 thinks it's very odd as well.
Could kind of turn into something, because if I'm not mistaken, he kind of made a comment like, I guess they can't say, oh.
WACK is wearing a literal 99-cent shirt from Shein. Literal. Y'all think this man has money? Okay.
TF didn't slide. There's no getting out of that.
Listen, if he's just a random person, it's whatever, but he's somebody who's got...
Now, that's very true. If Vaughn didn't attack Quando Rondo in that situation, he would still be here. That's very true. That's very true.
Photos with Dirk, he's been pitching with all the OTF guys and stuff. It seems like kind of... That was before he even worked for No Jumper. That actually was the interview that made me like, you know what? I'm gonna f with you.
Wait, what? That's why you hired him? Because he snitched on Lil Durk? What? But anyways, let's continue.
Because at the time, OTF was never mentioned.
Right.
He's the first one that made any type of anything that OTF was involved by saying, I guess they can't say they didn't slide for Bond no more. It's like...
Well, if this doesn't convince you enough, right after this, Bricc Baby would drop a song where he basically incriminates himself. In a song called Not Enough, here's what he says. He was ducking trying to hide, now he in a blunt. We dropped 100 shots, go dig your partner up. Then he says the last one we turned into a pack, we got 1 million plus. And now knowing what we know from the indictment of the co-conspirators getting paid, I mean, you know? But of course, on the flip side, he could just be lying about the money, right? Except for the fact that after this, he mysteriously starts living in a Calabasas...
Is it the King Palm freebie? It is the King Palm freebie. Hilarious. It is the King Palm freebie. I am her king. I am his queen. That one, the extra freebie.
Four-bedroom mansion. So just a year.
Hey, you know what's crazy? That's true. Let's never forget. Throughout this whole thing, Quando Rondo has never been accused of snitching, ratting, talking too much, nothing. Quando Rondo done kept this whole situation solito like a roquito.
Prison for robbing a jewelry store. You're living in a Calabasas mansion. How does that make sense? I mean, no jumper ain't paying that much, because I promise you, Bricc Baby's house is worth more than Adam's.
Don't forget, Bricc Baby is the rich crib.
Okay, so let's get back on track. The No Jumper interview where he reveals that the Lil Pop situation was get back for Vaughn, that was in February. And strangely, just a couple weeks later in March, the feds start tracking Bricc Baby's every move. In fact, they even spy on him for 4 months straight.
To know you was getting followed for 4 months.
It was 4 months?
Hell yeah.
The only thing you told me is that they were following you back and forth from your house to here. And that kind of tripped me out. I'm like, wow, so these fools are just like parked outside sometimes and we just don't even know?
And low with grandma vans, like soccer vans and shit.
And after 4 months of spying on him, they finally raid his house in the middle of the night. Yep, on June 25th, 2023, his Calabasas mansion was raided and they found an AK-47. Now, generally, this isn't that serious, but given that he's a 4-time felon, this is no joke. In fact, just like Crip Mac, he was facing up to 15 years in prison. And even though he seemed to wiggle out of serious consequences for every felony he's ever had, this one is a little different because it's the feds. Well, long story short, over the next year, somehow the case just magically disappears. And that really makes you wonder, how does a 4-time felon have such a big case dropped, just like that? Well, actually, the first question is, why was he being spied on, and why was he raided in the first place? Does it have anything to do with the murder of Lil Pop, or the fact that he was snitching on himself? Well, WACK 100 seems to think that he snitched to get out of this, and that's why Lil Durk is now indicted.
Bricc got an open case. And everybody's watching, Bricc. Where your court dates? Boom! OTF is hit with an indictment.
And even if Bricc didn't actually snitch, WACK says that he could be the reason that the feds even look Lil Durk's direction.
Now...
But here's the thing, though. We know that WACK is confidential source number 2 back. We all know that he's a snitch.
You got the people saying, well, this dude is a known gang member. He ran with these people. Okay, well, let's look over there. Maybe they wasn't even thinking about looking over there. But because they heard him say it, they like, let's look into that. Let's just see where it takes us. And they might have looked at one dude, grabbed at one dude from what they heard, and the one dude went bad and fed him everything else. So...
Okay, so let's now play devil's advocate, right? Let's assume that Bricc Baby had nothing to do with the death of Lil Pop and that he's not a snitch. And if that's actually the case, please explain these 2 reactions. This was his live reaction to receiving the news that the 4 OTF members were indicted.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah, this is crazy.
Hang on, wait.
Yeah, that's it.
Wait, was this an attempt? Or an alleged attempt?
He dead.
No, Quando.
Yeah, Lil Pap is his man's is dead. His man's is dead.
Oh, his boy, but he didn't get hit.
Nah, Quando's fine.
So they got his boy instead.
His boy is dead.
But were they alleged to try to get him too?
Yeah, he was there.
So was he the intended target?
That I don't know.
Yeah, see, this is how you need to be when you sit down with Diddy's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Sorry, with Biggie's bodyguard.
Good. See, this is good.
This is exactly
I'm getting
the kind
a free lesson here as well.
Yeah. So essentially,
thank you for that, by the way.
1,000.
I appreciate it.
Got you, my money. So this dude, Quando Rondo, he's an artist that was affiliated with the dude that had had killed King Von. So, and this was allegedly a retaliation for that.
Well, I'm about to say, nah, that's crazy. So the feds charged an indictment with unsealed. It said was unsealed Thursday in the U.S. District Court in Los Angeles. Are combined line to DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Bryan, and Asa Houston.
I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deeply into it, but he seems nervous. And to make matters even worse, he says that giving up Quando's location for Lil Durk is something that he would actually do. Like, why would you say that?
Then there's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't do shit. But at the end of the day, What's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, this my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been. You know, if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar? Sure. I said if you make the call right now, I dig his up in.
Right. What's wrong with getting somebody from your own gang killed because your friend asked you to?
I mean, what's wrong with that?
Like, forget on a moral level. Clearly, this guy has no morals. But on a street level as well, especially in LA, openly admitting to backdooring your own gang for your millionaire buddy is crazy. So you guys tell me what you think. Firstly, do you think Bricc was involved in the
All right, man, we up out here to the next one. Chat, we gone, man. We gave y'all this good breakdown. We'll be back tomorrow, but make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm finna go get my kids ready for bed. Tap in with the tap in and make sure you tapped in with all this good tap in. Red dots to the left. Y'all know the rest. It's Free Avenue Angel until he's